Hello, chefs. This is Chef's PSA. I'm your host, André Natera. Today's guest is Iman Kawa. She's a current competitor on Next Level Chef. She's the owner of Better Than Your Mother's Cookies. She's Michelin-trained and worked in some of the best restaurants in New York City. Stay tuned. Next Level Chef.
Oh boy.
So I binge watched it, right? So I'm 4 episodes in. I fucking love it. And by the way, I have to tell you, I normally don't watch like cooking shows. I hate to say it, I don't watch it. Like unless I have a friend that's on, I'm normally not watching it. And then I'll normally just tell my friend, oh yeah, I saw it, but saw highlights on YouTube.
Right.
But I tell you, I started binge watching it Sunday.
Thanks.
And I was like, I'm going to watch one episode, but okay, I'm lying. I skipped one episode. I saw the first episode, and then I skipped the second episode. It was like maybe the home cooks. I skipped it.
Oh my God, I did the same thing.
No offense, home cooks.
Yeah, same.
You guys are great.
Don't be
no
mad
offense,
because they're
but
my
it's
friends.
I only had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So I skipped the second one, and then I watched 3 and 4. You're on it. It's great. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I was like, I normally I'm going to watch 10 minutes, but I was like fucking hooked. It's great.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
good.
Great.
It's good.
Shout out Fox for making a likable TV show.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I was like, holy shit. I don't fully understand it, so I want to ask you some questions about it.
Let's do it.
So whoever wins $250,000. Great. Put it in Bitcoin. Anyone that's listening, whoever wins, convert that. Don't put it in USD, inflation. But anyway,
Taxes.
Taxes, right? Second, what's the 1-year mentorship? I don't understand. What does that look like?
Supposedly, you get access to Gordon Ramsay, Naisha Arrington, and Richard Blais.
All 3, or do you have to pick one?
All 3.
Oh, that's great.
For 1 full year. And so,
what does access look like? Like you check in, like you send them a text, or what? You get their personal number. You have coffee with them.
I'm allowed to say.
Okay. Don't tell me. But it's vague. I don't know. But for the previous winners, do they tell?
They do. But I'm not sure that I should talk.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, what's the mentorship? What would a mentorship with Gordon Ramsay and Naisha and Richard Blais look like? I mean, that's pretty cool. That right there.
Supposedly, you have
take
an
advantage.
open line. You have an open line of communication to them for an entire year.
It's not like to send them memes.
No, yeah, you can't do that.
You can't.
Yeah, don't waste his time. Gordon's busy on 10 TV shows, opening another restaurant, Hexaclad. You know the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And then for people that have never seen the show, I'm going to try and do it justice. I've only seen 4 episodes.
Okay.
But there's a platform. There's three levels, right? So the top level is like a state-of-the-art kitchen. The middle level is like a pretty good kitchen. And then the bottom level is like everything's fucked. It's like getting hired in a bad restaurant that hasn't put any investment in it.
That's right. Literally right now you're talking about this and I'm getting I want to throw up again thinking about this competition. Keep going.
So you have the 3 levels. And then there's a platform with ingredients, like an elevator, that's going down, and people are picking ingredients off this elevator that's going down. And then because if you're on the bottom floor, most likely you're getting the leftovers.
Correct.
That people didn't want, right? Because they've already taken the center cuts and the steaks and the lobster and everything else, right? And then there's 3 groups of contestants. So there's home cooks, there's content creators
Influencers.
Food influencers, and then people that have worked in professional kitchens, right?
That's right.
And after a process of elimination, they've now commingled, and they're on 3 teams with Gordon, Naisha, and Richard Blais. Is that so far?
Nailed it.
Okay. How much time you guys have to cook? Because it looks fucking
20 minutes.
Stressful.
20 minutes.
It looks so stressful. I'm
telling you, I'm getting PTSD hearing you talk about it. I want to throw up.
I was watching it, and this is why I can never do a show. I just walk out I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gave me. I don't remember who got I think they got beef liver.
Oh yeah, Megan.
It's I know I'm not going to win with beef liver. I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to go be their sous chef and help them because I know I'm going to get eliminated. Right?
Imagine. Yeah.
But it was great. So how was the experience for you? Tell us your experience that you can share.
Man, I'm not 100%. I want to tell you
you can only tell me through 4 episodes because that's what's out.
Right. Okay. So the experience, it's so cool. I think, very different. If you're a competitive person, especially if you've competed in sports, if you were the asshole in the kitchen who was dying to get to meat station on your first day, that's for you. that is for you. If you're a very competitive individual, you will enjoy it.
Yeah.
It is intense, to say the least.
How much time do you guys have?
To do what?
When you get your ingredient.
20 minutes.
That's it.
That's it.
You can't, I mean, I hate to say it, you can't really make great food with 20 minutes.
I agree with that.
Like, I mean, you can make something, but
you
it's
can
not
make
gonna be
something, but
amazing.
like exactly. You want to make serious, like, you know, that's why it's like, oh, next level, you know, next level in 20 minutes is like ridiculous.
Did you brine your chicken, chef?
Fuck out of here. Imagine. So you have 20 minutes. Your grab is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You have 30 seconds to conceptualize the dish, and you know that this like platform is going to move.
Yeah.
You need to make the right decision based on the time that you have to cook, what's in front of you, what you know, and like, you know, putting out stuff that's going to...
There's a pantry that you could like salt, pepper, spices.
Right.
Rice? I mean,
No rice.
cook rice.
No.
What's in that pantry?
So you have like butter, you have like staple ingredients, you know what I mean? Like exactly, like spices, you have some butters, you have oils, you have the stuff that you need to
Vinegars,
cook.
yeah.
Vinegar, stuff like that,
Okay.
but they're very basic.
Got it.
So you definitely need to have skills as a chef in order to compete and do well on this show.
Well, when I look at that, I think it's interesting because it probably equalizes a home cook and a professional chef a little bit. A little bit.
Slightly. What equalizes it for me?
You don't have time now.
Right, exactly.
So there's it's not, you already have an advantage. You've worked in Michelin star kitchens.
Right.
You're a professional. You went to culinary school. You've been
Right.
doing it at length. This person just started last year when, you know, the Magic Act closed or whatever, right?
Right.
So you're competing against, it's like it's not a fair fight.
Right.
So they have to make it a little bit fair. And I see that as being like, well, the time makes it a little bit more fair.
I think the time, and I think the biggest thing for me is the platform stuff. Yeah. Like that's what really, really puts you on like the same page with everybody else, only because it's like sometimes you don't see like what's actually there. The way things are positioned, it depends on where you are, where you ran, where you grab. And so it's like, and if you're not crushing it every single cook, you don't get to get better for the next one. Because you start learning, you start understanding like, you know, you start timing your grabs better. You start understanding how to look for things a little bit better each time you cook. But if you're not beast every single time, you're not going to make it to be able to do better the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say the platform is really, for me, what equalized everybody. Because I think also as a chef, if you have, it is hard to make something delicious in 20 minutes, but I can't imagine you not being a badass in 20 minutes. Someone who has 20 plus years of experience in a kitchen,
sure.
you would know what to do. So I think really the part that like for me felt like damn, where I thought like I have one up on everybody else, but now I think we're all in the same playing field is the platform.
Yeah, but also like on that bottom level, it's like, okay, I have one up on you, but then the utensil bane is broken and it falls over. Like as a professional, as I like to say, when I'm Chef Andre versus, you know, podcast Chef's PSA Andre, it's a different person. When I'm Chef Andre, if that bane falls over, I'm not going to be happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I could see like as a professional, like a hardcore professional chef, when these little things happen, they probably irritate you more than the home cook. Because the home cook might be used to, like, the towels doesn't have to be folded perfectly for the home cook.
Right.
You know what I mean? The cutting board doesn't have to be just right. It could slide a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't annoy them as much.
Yeah, you could tell. Actually, that was probably one of my biggest things, like, different from everybody else, is that I was super clean, super, like, I think on the second or third episode, you can see me, like, putting out my little containers and, like, making sure that all my mise en place were tight. Then I remember, like, in one of my, I can't go that far, but there's a moment where, like, my team noticed that about like those are the small details for sure. And I think like from the bottom level, I think though as a pro chef, you'd be able to like, you don't grab the shitty beans, like you work around it. Like those are the things I think that as a pro, you like, how many times have we worked with like, especially in New York City, right? Yeah. Like, I don't know everywhere else. But in New York City, you're working with limited space.
Right. Vertical kitchens, right? So learn how to work up.
One. Then you also, like at Danielle, okay, it's Danielle, but like you had 4 fucking spatulas. You better show up an hour early if you want to get one.
Yeah.
You know, and then if not, you get the shitty one or go buy one, but you're broke because you don't get paid a lot. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of that basement that I was not used to for sure because I've never cooked in such a shitty kitchen, never. But there are aspects of it that you know how to work around because you've kind of been through all that already. At least from someone who's cooked in New York City, for me. Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit.
Okay.
It's a great show, and I could talk about
Okay.
because now I'm a fan of the show.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I'm a fan of normally I'm like I'm not gonna watch any food shows like suck or shit. But this one I was like, oh shit, this is fun.
And I think it's a legitimate. I liked it, and I was willing to compete on it because I don't like food TV anymore.
Yeah.
I think like it's changed so much since I grew up watching it, and I was like, oh, this is like pretty respectable. Like I actually like this show.
Yeah. It's both. So like I became an instant fan. Like,
That's great. Same.
Like
honestly.
I watched, I was like, I'm an instant fan. This is cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I wouldn't. By the way, I would never do it. Like I said, like man.
Tell me why. Tell me why
so
you
much
would never.
respect. Because I wouldn't want to lose. I'm ultra competitive, and if I think that the cards are stacked against me, to not let me be who I am, I'm not going to do it because at the end of the day, it's more important for me to deliver it correctly than to deliver it on time.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, I feel you on that.
You know what
Heavy.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they say you got 3 minutes, like I'm not going to serve it to you. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry. I'd rather get kicked off the show. And because if I get kicked off the show because I didn't serve it on time, it's like, oh, you got kicked off the show. So it's like I don't know if I'm willing to risk that.
I feel you.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's
just
interesting. Me. Yeah, that's funny. I think too. Yep, I think that's a part of the competition.
But by the way, I would love to judge one.
Amen.
Judging seems.
Gordon Ramsay, if you're listening.
Yeah, Gordon. No. I would be an excellent judge.
I believe that.
But contestant, and I got a bad back. Like my knees are kind of fucked.
Oh, stop!
Like
Don't
I'm
start
not.
that.
I'm like. There's no way that Beatrice, the 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
She's gonna out hustle me. Like if I drop something, like
Oh my God, she's such a little force of nature. That girl. So our last the third cook in auditions, we had to work next to each other, and I was like, I hate you because she's. Like culinary school kid and like doesn't know how to keep her station clean. It's like, you know, when you first start cooking and it's disgusting. Yeah. And I was like, hey, if you don't get your shit together, get off my station. Like I wanted to start actually sabotaging her on I love you, Beatrice, don't be mad. But I wanted to start sabotaging her because I was like, you are giving me anxiety, bitch. Like clean, okay? Like this isn't it.
We're clean.
But
clean as you go. Let's hurry. Basics.
Exactly. But she was like, chef, don't worry, I'm so different. Because now she's like in a kitchen in New York and she's doing great. And she's just great. I love that girl. But yeah, she was a force of nature. She like moves super fast, so confident. Like I love her.
So let me go back to what I was going to say is how do you get on a show like that? Like for people that are listening, how does one apply to get on a show like that? And what does the process look like?
Okay, so
what you can share.
Right. So they have, and I think there's like some application. I don't remember how I got started to get on this show.
Like a casting call that goes out and gets forwarded to you or something?
I think so. They do put up casting because now I follow like the casting directors that like got us.
Yeah.
And they do put it up on their Instagram or whatever. I saw season one of the show, and I think I asked back then. So like almost 3 years ago, and they hit me up like 2023. Like, so 2 or 3 years later, like, hey, do you still want to compete? And I was like, why not? Let's do it.
Sure.
That's it. So all I did was apply essentially. And then they reached out to me a few years later. And then nothing. He was like, tell me your story. And I told him about myself. And like, they found certain things cool. The fact that I'm, Jordanian, Palestinian, and Christian, for example. Like, most are not. Like, most people from the Middle East are Muslim. So that was a big thing. The fact that I don't drink, smoke, party, or anything like that was like outrageous for them. Like, they just found me to be like such a gem almost. And I think the fact that I cooked in fine dining was big for them because most people who cook in like higher level kitchens or whatever, they don't do these competitions. You know what I mean? We don't do these things. And even me, I hesitated a lot to do it because I've been taught not to do this kind of stuff. Like, this is cheesy, But yeah, like, you're taught really not to, like, TV is not a good thing. Social media, at least back then in those kitchens. So I was like struggling.
It definitely hurt you.
Yeah. So I was struggling to like, do I really want to do this? Should I do this? Not because I was scared to compete, more because like I've been taught not to do like go on TV, not like those are not real chefs. Those are blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so long story short, they were excited that, I cooked in really incredible kitchens, that I am Middle Eastern. Most of the like brown or whatever that come on the show, they're like Indian or from Pakistan. There's not generally females to start from the Levantine region of the Middle East, also Christian. So they got kind of like excited about that. I think they're looking for like, I watched like Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars like recently. I don't really watch TV, but I just wanted to understand also food TV in general, because I think it's like, if you like, you need social media. You interviewed Josh recently, like he was on it, and I listened to his podcast, and I was like, damn, he's so right. And that like the new wave is Instagram and YouTube and whatever else. And I just wanted to see these things that are streaming on Hulu or Fox. What does that look like?
Right.
And it, to me, the characters are always somewhat similar. They're always the same. You need your villain, you need your hero, you need this, that, the other. And it's hard to pick people who have like a different story.
Right.
It's generally the same.
And after a while, it almost becomes predictable.
Correct.
It almost becomes. I'll tell you a story, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I'll share this with you. I won't say which show, but I was judging auditions for a TV show, reality TV show. So I was the chef judge, and so we had like a line out the door. A lot of home cooks, professional chefs, and they were coming. You know, they had to bring their dish, and we had to try it. We had like a score sheet, whatever. But the main casting producer came and spoke to me and this other chef at the time, and said, like, make notes on the food, but if their food sucks, but they got great personality, call me.
Yep.
Like, and I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. If the food sucks, like, who cares? But like, if they're colorful and entertaining, like, go get me so I could interview them, like, put them through. I was like, all right. But I thought that was really interesting because there is an entertainment aspect. Like, let's be real.
What are people watching TV for?
It's entertainment.
Exactly.
Right. It's entertainment.
So I would say, like, my personality, which I'm trying to stay calm and collected on this podcast right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a PG family show.
Yeah. No, but just so I think the fact that I'm like loud, I'm in your face, I'm very like, to be honest with you, in my opinion, I'm a very typical female in the kitchen. Like most of the girls I've ever cooked with, which there were not a lot of girls on the savory side of the kitchen while I was cooking. They were mostly in pastry.
Sure.
But they're all like this. If not, they were bigger B words than I am, in my opinion. And so I'm just being myself, and I think they enjoy that. They enjoy the like aggressive, like I tell you how it is. I'm also, I guess, very New York in that way.
Sure.
Where it's like, we don't sugarcoat shit, and if you don't like it, bye-bye. Like, too bad for you, you know? So
sure.
I think like all of that was very attractive to them. If I could be completely honest, I was just very myself. And I don't know that there's a specific recipe other than that. Like, you do have to have a great personality. You do have to have something that's attractive to people. You do have to have some sort of story about you. Like, mine is that my father didn't want me to cook, you know, at all. He did not approve of whatever I did.
What do you want you to do?
Be a lawyer, be a doctor, be anything but a chef. Like, it was low class back then. It was for the uneducated back then. Like, I've wanted to do this since I was 7, like, or since I was a child, you know?
Sure.
So, you know, he did not approve whatsoever. And like right before he passed away, he gave me his approval.
Yeah.
And I think that those were like small things to them that, unfortunately, that's not how they tell my story. They just kind of let me be this aggressive, like, B-word on the show. But I think all of that is what like wanted them to like put me on.
If you had to give someone advice that was going on to that show or a similar type show, what advice would you give them? Because I'm certain that it's extremely difficult. Like it's almost designed. Like, I've had a lot of friends that have, you know, won shows and been on shows, and I've been involved with the chef community for a long time, so I understand what competition's like. But I also understand like there's an aspect of it to make you not look great. Mm-hmm. And it's more difficult than it looks to the home audience. Like, oh, I would just do this. Like, for my couch, I'm like, oh, they're so dumb. Why did they do this? But
me to myself right now, I'm like, are you kidding me? Why didn't we? But I can remember what I was thinking in that moment. Like, trust me, I know.
So if you had to give someone advice, a future chef contestant, if they wanted to get on the show, what would you tell them? Like, how do I get noticed to get picked? Number one, and then 2, when I'm on the show, how do I win?
Okay, those are great questions. I would say, how do I get noticed? First of all. Oof. I mean, the noticing part is like, I feel, I was about to say like, oh, I don't feel like there's an exact science, but there is. They're looking for specific characters. You really want me to tell you how I imagine me? I feel like I got lucky.
Pretend you're the casting producer. What would you look for?
Someone who has a great personality, someone who's confident,
for
sure. Someone who knows food, understands food. And then they ask you for like pictures of your food. They want your references as well.
Yeah.
So like you do have to have talent. Like, you have to be good at what you do in order to get there. So practicing is a big one. So but understanding food, having a great personality is really key for TV.
But what's a great personality for TV? Because TV also builds villains.
Right.
So a great personality for TV could also be a good villain.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we all know, like, no secret that Iman became the villain. I didn't think they were going to do that, by the way. I really thought that since my story is very, like, based on persevering and, like, never giving up and you always have one more round, like, that's my vibe.
Yeah, first episode, you kick some dude off the station. Like, this is my station.
This is it, but that's normal New York City, bro. That's what it is. It's like, but I called the station, homeboy, like, get out. Like, so oh, my God. Anyway, yeah, whatever. But that's what it is. Anyway, apart from that, like for me, my story that I was hoping they would tell is like never giving up. That's what's more like most important.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
You know how it is when you kick someone off a station, though?
What do you mean?
It's not get off my station.
Yeah.
In a kitchen, you just
move their shit.
You just move them.
But
right?
there was nothing there.
No, like you've been on chef's station. Chef just walks up, hits you in the hip.
Yeah. Get off.
Doesn't even say anything. Like It's get off my station.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, so I would try to say it nicely. I was like, love you, mean it, bye. Like, I don't know how else to tell you, get the fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, you're bad for not hearing me say I call. Well, anyway. Anyhow, I would say they need several people. They need the person who is combative.
Yes.
That clearly is me. That the person who's like aggressive in your face, they want that because it makes for good TV. They also want the person who's very sweet, who's like, that's going to win you over because they're like, you know.
Heart of gold.
Exactly. The girl
Right.
next door, that's who won last season, right? Like, she's amazing. And actually, she won me over. Like, I watched her and was like, God, I hope you win.
Right.
So, like, they need the person who's going to, like, she's just, like, sweet and humble and talented.
Yeah.
They also need the, like, story, like, where you overcame adversity. Where, you know what I mean? Where, like, which, honestly, every human being at some point has something that they've gone through and overcame.
Yeah.
So, so I think, you know, I'd say to me, those are the top three in my mind that I know always stick out and go far in any TV show. Like, the person who's the villain, the person who's, like, the heart of gold and wins you over, and then the person whose story you're attracted to because they're the hero, like the comeback queen or king.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Those are...
I'll share a story with you. Just it's relevant to standing out.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I've ever shared this on this podcast. So for people that are religious listeners, if I've shared it, sorry. But years ago, this was maybe 2020, right? Maybe 2020, 2021. I was I was a finalist for a TV show. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't a reality show. It was like a travel hosting show, it would be my own show where I would be the host.
Love that. Ooh,
right?
That's what I would love to do next. Keep going.
And so I was on the short list. And by the way, I have no idea what show it was because they wouldn't tell me. They're like, we can't tell you the name of the show, but I was like one of the last 5 people that they were looking at. And so they're interviewing me, and like I didn't know what to do. It was like, this is my first time. Like, it kind of popped out of nowhere. They reached out to me. They're like, hey, we found you. We want to talk to you. We think you'd be a great fit. So I'm like doing the Zoom interview because this is like 2020. I think everyone was on Zoom, right? 2020, 2021. And I was like, fuck, what do I do? So I was like, I'm going to play up the character. So I got my big cigar. I got my fucking whiskey. I dressed up with my fucking James Bond suit, you know. So I was like trying to play up the character. And they were asking me questions like, so do you get mad in the kitchen? I was like, sometimes, but sometimes I'm not. Like, I was like, I don't know what they want to hear. Like,
Right.
I was trying to play it up for them. And I didn't know the right answer. And I wasn't prepared. But anyway, I asked the producer, because it was 2 people. It was like the casting producer and their boss. And I was like, can I ask you, like, we're about to end the call. It's like, why me? Like, why am I on this short list? Like, can you help me understand that? And they said, yes, we'll tell you why. And so this is like a lesson for people that are listening. They said, because when we scroll on social media and we're trying to find who the next star is, and all chefs post food, and they said, and we follow you, and this is before I started Chef's PSA, so this is not Chef's PSA, Andre. This is when I was still a chef. Like, when we follow you, it's like, there's some food, but there's like you smoking a cigar and drinking a whiskey and, you know, talking shit and making jokes and posting funny memes, and it's like, it's different. It's not like everyone else. Like all these other chefs that are kind of at your level, they just post the food, but no personality. And you're like all personality with a little bit of food. And that's why we noticed you.
But like, that's kind of your generation too. Like, you guys aren't allowed to have personality back then. Like,
True.
let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
Phones were not allowed in the kitchen ever while I was in there. And I'm after you, right?
Yeah.
So you're not allowed, like, it was like frowned upon to look for attention socially as a chef outside of your food. You were not allowed to be someone outside of your food.
Right.
In your generation.
Right.
So the fact that in my opinion, that's why
it was against the grain.
Out.
It was against the social norm.
Correct. Where now, if you don't have a personality, you're going to get fucking swallowed. You're not going to make it.
Right.
So that's probably why. I would say for me now, like hearing your story, the right answer for them would have been the truth in that, like, when you are genuinely yourself, people pick that up and they eat that up. Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. So like, I was not like ever, and
by the way, as you figured out, I didn't get the show.
Okay,
I didn't get the show. What show was it?
Probably didn't come into fruition anyway.
It probably got canceled after one season. Hopefully,
TV is so different now. I would say this is what I've and I'm really grateful to like get these compliments. Most people, I would say, are attracted or love me because I'm very genuine and I don't know how else to be or who else to be but myself.
Right.
In so much so, like, I've never flown first class, let's say, until this past year. Like, I wasn't well off financially whatsoever. Like, cooking in New York City, you're not making fucking money to fly first class ever. You're lucky if you afford basic, for the record, right?
Right.
So that group of people who flies, there was someone who worked for the United Nations that I got to meet, someone who worked at the World Bank, like those kinds of things. And I am so incredibly, she like got her PhD at Oxford, this girl that I was sitting next to on my way to France. And like she was so her one way when we first started talking, and I was so myself the whole conversation that she became more towards my character than her own.
Okay.
And that, like, you draw people in when you're just yourself. And I think the casting directors and producers, they enjoy that because that, like, it's contagious.
Yes.
And everyone in the world, actually, because I feel like people put, especially now with social media, everybody puts on. Everybody puts on who they believe will be accepted or who's liked or cool or whatever it may be. Right. So when you get to just be yourself, that's today's version of going against the grain, in my opinion.
Yes.
And like, that's what's attractive. So if you're in the interview phase, that's what this guy, he's like, it's my job to sell you. Yes. I want you to make it onto the show. Mm-hmm. You have no idea how many people even apply for the show. He's like, I just want you to be yourself.
Well, that's a big reason why I wanted to do this podcast with chefs, is because I wanted people to be able to listen to conversations with great chefs. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted people to see, like, there's not a lot of difference between you and this other person. Like, we got a lot more in common than people think.
Amen. That's right.
Like we're people first before we're chefs.
Yep.
Like before I was ever a chef, I was a human being.
Amen.
With problems and life stories and stuff like that. And I think sometimes chefs get pigeonholed into this, into really two categories of like, oh, the toxic chef or whatever, right? But
I'm the toxic one.
But it's like, there's so much more than like just labeling chefs. Like when you start talking to them, like after an hour, this podcast is usually only an hour, but after an hour, people leave like, wow, like I had that same feeling. People start to understand. So that's why I'm glad I have you on. It's like,
thank you.
Let's make sure, I know they're painting you like in the villain arc right now,
yeah,
but it's great. By the way, I have a prediction.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Like, by the way, since I'm loving the show, it's like, and I've made a lot of predictions that have come true. Like I'll share too. Like I called out Central would be the #1 restaurant before anyone.
That's
like,
here, right?
No, Central in Peru.
Oh, okay.
And World's 50 Best,
World's
right?
50
So someone
best.
asked me like, what's going to hit #1? I was like, if you're paying attention, it'll probably be Central. And the only reason I said that is because like you could see the setup for weeks before that. They were setting it up.
Who?
World's 50.
Oh, okay.
They were setting it up. You know what I mean? Like I've been in the game long enough, like I could recognize where this is going. You know what I mean? Because they don't just surprise you like, oh, so and so won. It's like no, they gotta sell you on it months in advance.
Right.
Right. So if I'm watching the show, I have a prediction. Like I don't know who's gonna win, and I know you can't tell me.
Right.
But I have like a top 5 of who I think might win.
Okay.
Can I share?
You can share, but I'm gonna look away.
No. I just like breathe if I'm right. No, I'm just kidding.
Breathe if I'm right.
So I think you first and foremost, right? Michelin pedigree, talented, hustle in the kitchen. You're getting camera time, at least in the first 4 episodes. They're painting you a certain way. Maybe I know we're only 4. Maybe it'll change and like they'll start to tell more stories. I don't know, but it's like you're getting FaceTime.
Right.
So it's like, okay, potential. what's the 18-year-old girl's name?
Beatrice.
I also think her. I don't think she's going to win though, but I do think she'll make it close to the end.
Why do you say that? Why do you say you don't think she's going to win?
I don't know her, and I've only seen her cook on a show. But I know she's not going to beat you when she's 18. I'm also a chef. Like I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I get it. She's probably good. She's going to be a great chef one day. She's a superstar in the making.
Right.
But I know at 18, you're not going to beat someone that's been cooking in Michelin-star kitchens for years. Let's be honest. It's just common sense.
Right.
But I do think she's a superstar. So I think she'll make it close to the end. Again, this is just my prediction. Could be wrong. Austin. I think he's great. You know, he's fiery. He's a chef. He's a cook. He's getting camera time too. Who's the other guy that I was saying? Nick.
Baby Tom Cruise.
Nick also, I got respect for him. I think what he's doing is great. So I think, and then Bobby. And by the way, Bobby, based on all of that, those are my top 5 in the show. If I had a top 2 who I think will, like now we're in Vegas, and I have to put money.
I'm going to look away.
I'll tell you who, it's either on you or Bobby. Based on what I've seen. Just my chef instincts of knowing the industry, that's where my money is. It's either going to be you or Bobby. You
know what's cool about you calling out Bobby? I like, not only is he really talented as a cook, he has beautiful morals as a person. You'll see them unfold in the show, and like, he's just genuinely a great person. And I think Fox chose him as the sweetheart of. I think they chose him as the sweetheart of the show.
The reason I think him, for a couple of reasons. So huge balls to him. Parisian gnocchi. I was like, and making his own ricotta with 20 minutes. Like, it's like that. Like, you cannot not be good and pull that off. Like, period. I know professional chefs that wouldn't pull that off. So the fact that he did that, I was like, okay.
Homeboy made ricotta from scratch. I'm like, let's go, Bobby. Okay.
Ricotta from scratch and Parisian gnocchi in 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay. Mad respect. Then what did he do? Maybe he did like a chicken schnitzel or something on another episode. I thought it was pretty good. He made spätzle. He made spätzle from scratch with 20 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I used to have spätzle on the menu. I used to have to make spätzle. Like, if you told me to make spätzle from scratch with 20 minutes, I'd probably screw it up. And I had it on my menu. Like, I did it for years. You know what I mean? The fact that you pulled it off.
You keep saying that. No,
but that's the point I'm trying to make. It's like, I'm a professional with 27 years in the kitchen. He's not a professional chef, from what I understand.
Yeah, Bobby, he doesn't believe that you haven't had professional training, by the way.
Huh?
I'm telling Bobby right now that you don't believe he has.
I don't. There's something missing here. Like, Bobby, why are your skills so high?
Tell us.
Because I saw a video. I'm following him on social media, and so he's making something, and he's brewing wine onion. Right. And you know this because you've worked in these types of kitchens. The way he's brewing wine, only a trained eye would notice that he's doing the technique that you expect from like high-end Michelin-star restaurants. And it's getting lost on everyone. But the fact that he's doing it, he's not even calling it out. He's just doing it. And I'm like, okay, Bobby. What the fuck, man?
But it could be because his garnish, because he worked in bars in New York City.
They don't garnish with perfect brunoise.
I mean, fair, but like, he's also like that. I mean, I agree with you. I think you're not telling us something. No,
Bobby, but he's like a CIA. What's up?
But he's also really like that. He's one of those that like, he just like desperately wants to be great. You can like, that's just him, and like, he just like desperately wants to be great. It feels like.
Yeah. So my prediction. I don't know, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and I'll say like, oh, I guess I was wrong. You two are in the final. That's what I think. That's what I think.
So nice of you.
And I think, and if I'm wrong there, it's one of the 5 that I mentioned. That's what I think.
I think.
Beatrice is a superstar in the making, by the way.
She is my favorite. She's probably, there's like a handful of people that I really love that I got to meet. All of them are great people, so cool. Like, really glad that we all got to connect. She's one of my most favorite people. She's so dope. She reminds me of myself when I started. I love her.
Yeah.
She is so cool, and she has the like exact right mindset of anyone who wants to be successful. And like right now, as like everyone's getting a lot of attention, she's one of the people getting a lot of attention. She's like, I just want to cook. Like, I
Yeah.
I don't care for all of that. And she's like, no, I don't want, like, I can't do a pop-up, like I have work, you know, like, and she just cares so much about the craft and being a good chef and a real chef. And like, that makes my heart very happy. We're like, look, this is a very big opportunity. You're on Fox and then you stream on Hulu forever until that show comes off, right? So like, you're getting airtime, you have social media. And she's like, I just want to be a good chef. And I think that that is so, especially at 18, in the world that we live in right now, that she doesn't care so much about the attention. She's just like wanting to love, like be good at her craft. She's incredible to me. I love that girl. Really.
There's so much that I want to talk to you about, and I'm like, damn it. we like I could talk about this show for a while. Like I'm hooked. I can't wait for episode 5.
Every time the next one comes, I'm like, fuck, please stop. It's hard to watch yourself.
But you also have a cookie business now.
I do.
So tell us about that. And how'd that start?
Luxury custom cookies. It's called Better Than Your Mother's.
Yeah.
It started.
Jorge Masvidal was promoting it.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. So there's a lot about that. All right. So
even DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rock, Cardi B. There's a lot of people that have had my cookies. DJ Khaled, Nicki Jam.
Yeah.
A lot of people. It's pretty cool. So, okay, Better Than Your Mother's. It was started. Here's the fun facts for you. It started off as a cooking show. Actually, I wanted to have a cooking show where I teach you how to make whatever better than your mother's.
Okay.
Like I kind of like what Josh does, like in that, like he teaches you the trade secrets that we learn in restaurants.
Sure.
And elevates your cooking. So
his butt better, right?
Well, way better,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you have the like fine dining techniques
yeah.
or whatever it might be. So that's essentially like how this brand started.
Better Than Your Mother's.
Better
Okay.
Than Your Mother's.
Did you ever start doing the videos?
I did put like, I'm just like you though, how you were like, if it's not perfect, I don't care if I have 3 minutes, I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
So like I did start, someone came and shot like shows. I hung out with like people who were really relevant at the time on YouTube and this, that, the other. And I didn't like how it was edited. And so I never put it out, which is wild.
That's okay.
Okay.
Maybe you'll do it now, but who cares?
Maybe we'll do it now. Yeah. So, whatever. So I intended it as a cooking show. It started on Instagram Live. This is when Instagram Live just started. Like first was a feature on Instagram. First show was amazing. Everyone loved it, blah, 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 whatever. Did it for a little bit. Then I got upset because the edits weren't good. I didn't like the guy and whatever. So we didn't do it. It turned like one day, Jonathan Beno was doing a benefit dinner for a charity called Cookies for Kids Cancer. And I was like, oh, I also like, so I helped him with that dinner or whatever it is. And then I wanted to raise money for it. And I was like, okay, well, how can I do this? I can't do a big sale. I don't have kids like in a school somewhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it on YouTube where I like have a baking challenge against my influencer friends so we can raise money for this charity.
Okay.
So I ended up raising $5,000 for the charity.
Yeah.
And in the interim, people were like, yo, do you sell these cookies? And I was like, no.
Did you bring any cookies?
Did what?
Did you bring me any
I
cookies?
should have. Oh my God. And I thought about it, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Yeah. Ugh.
I would have been eating them right now.
I know. Shame on me, man. I should have. Okay. Sorry about that. We will ship you some. That's
Please,
it.
please. I love cookies.
Really?
Yeah. You know, while you're here in Austin, you should check out Cookie Rich. They're also great. My friend Lauren Peters, French Laundry alum.
Done and done.
Yeah, she has her cookie company, also great luxury cookie brand, but they're like they look like macaroons, but they're cookies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
go check it out.
you should.
So people were asking me like, yo, you know, do you sell them? And I was like, no, I don't want to get known for pastry. Like, that's not what I do. You know what I mean? But cookies were just like becoming the new thing back then. Also, this is like 2017, call it 2017, 2018. Cookies were starting to become a thing, topped and stuffed and whatever else. So one of my like first chefs ever is Adam Perryling. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like
The barbecue guy?
Yeah, he's like a king. He's the
Yeah. He's great.
And I was like, chef, you know, people are asking me to sell these like via DM. Like, I don't know, you know, I don't want to get known for this. And he's like, if you have an open door, take it. At that point, I had like 10,000 following me on Instagram from Better Than Your Mother's, like that page. And he was like, if you have an open door, take it. Like, don't be silly. He's like, any mistakes you make,
advice.
you'll learn from them.
Yeah.
Just go.
Yeah, figure it out as you go.
I just went and like I was selling my cookies out of my apartment at like $80 a box, and people were like worth every fucking penny. They were so good. Like I was using Valrhona chocolate.
Someone wanted to get them right now. Like, where do they go get the cookies?
But at btymcookies.com.
And how do they order them now? Like, is it
So-
like mix and match?
Right now, it's like a box of 4 or 6 It's the chef's tasting. So like things have evolved in the business since I started, where before I was like super direct to consumer and very focused just on that. Now it's I make it kind of easier for myself in that like it's a chef's tasting. I give you whatever's seasonal, whatever's beautiful, whatever's like perfect at the time. There's no fuss about it. There's like unfortunately this is messed up, but I don't cater to the allergens and all of that stuff right now.
Yeah, this is what it is.
It doesn't make sense. So I'm putting out art. You can buy it or not. It's okay. I have yet, thank God, I don't get complaints about it. Okay, about it being that way. I do a lot of high volume business, so like exciting. I'm like closing a deal with Madison Square Garden to be in the VIP lounge for like their VIP clients and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And then like working on Yankee Stadium, that's like not close yet, but those are like I'm more towards. That's kind of where I'm shifting to. I really want to do high volume just because I understand. The numbers now, right?
So for someone starting out their own business right now, like what advice would you give them? Like, don't make these mistakes.
Don't make these mistakes. Oof. Do not try to do every single thing by yourself.
Yeah.
In the beginning, you have to, and that's okay. But like, I was a weirdo and was like, oh, if I don't do it all by myself, I'm not good enough. It was really fucking weird to like think like that.
Yeah.
You need a team. You need someone who knows certain things better than you also. Like, try to have like, don't, like front of house or whatever it is, like get the person who knows that, like, and have them help you. That's first.
Sure.
What else would I say? Because I wouldn't say like, I can tell you the do's versus more like better than the like don'ts.
Tell me the do's, especially on the marketing side. And the reason I say that is because looking at your page, like I said, you have Jorge Masvidal, you have DJ Khaled, you have The Rock. Like,
right.
How do you, how important is that? Like to get noticed, because
oh my God,
like we were talking about at the show, like you got to get noticed,
right?
But also with your business, you got to get noticed.
Super. So I would say first of all, like having a really good product. One of my biggest fears was like, man, I'm asking for a lot of money for this box of cookies, right? Like I'm scared that people will say that it's hype, or I'm scared that, do not ever be smoke and mirrors. Like you can hype stuff up, but like people are not stupid. You know what I mean? They're going to taste your product, and if it's not good, your reputation's going to suck, and that's super important in any business. So like making sure that you put out the best quality, everything, research, figure it out, go where the chefs go, especially if you're not classically trained. There's so much information on the freaking internet right now. Go utilize that, figure it out. Right? So putting out an incredible product that people want more than once. That's first. Start there. Like the bottom line is that you sell something good, worth paying for. Next is the experience. So in fine dining, it is all about the guest experience. You want them to feel like the most special person in the world from the second they enter your restaurant till the moment that they leave. 11 Madison Park will Google every name on their reservation so that the hostess greets you on your way in as if you were a VIP, like you're somebody special. Those are things that I remember taking throughout my time in kitchens that I was like, I want to do that for people with a box of cookies. Packaging has always been badass, like beautiful, on point, super luxurious. And like, so not only are you paying for the art of the cookies, but everyone knows a cookie doesn't cost. My cookies are expensive to make, for the record, especially now with inflation. Okay, eggs, chocolate, the sugar that I import. Like I import sugar. I'm not gonna tell you from where, but like the sugar that I have, like a lot of like.
Did you say you import sugar?
Yeah, or I don't personally import it, but it is imported from like special.
From Cisco?
No, not Cisco. But yeah, I've never used them as a vendor ever. But like from very special parts of the world are where I procure my ingredients. So I would say that like not just the quality of the cookie, because the market is the market on cookies, right? Like no one's really charging more than $8, maybe, and that's a lot for a cookie. So like then what else justifies the cost? Packaging was always on point. And then like when a celebrity endorses you got to think about this. DJ Khaled, for example, is one. My biggest one was Nicky Jam for me, but let's say DJ Khaled, for example, who has been around the entire world, is a multimillionaire, has eaten wherever, loves food, and remembers my brand. So I gave it to him first, and like I met him, I told him I'm Palestinian as well, whatever it was. And then someone else, another like star, gifted it to him, and he's like, wait, this is my people, right? Like he recognized the brand and like knew where it was from. Why? Because it was an impact to him. He's like, oh my God, I love these cookies.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So essentially, it's like making something incredible. Like he was like, I remember when I first brought it to him, and he's like, "Wow!" And look at the presentation. What? And then he tried it and was like, "Whoa!" Like, and it left an impression on him, and it actually has left an impression on everyone. The reason I say Nicky Jam was a big one for me was because before I ever even got a branded box, it was what I used to do was get really beautiful boxes from the Container Store, and I would get really great tissue paper, and I would like make it this whole experience. And he was like, "Oh shit!" Like and like. Wow, and then tasted it and was like, yeah, Mom, it's better than yours, sorry, and it was like, before I even had a luxurious big box, it was still impressive, and just because the product itself was so good. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's I'm embarrassed. I don't know who Nicky Jam is.
Nicky Jam is like, so he's a huge reggaeton star.
Okay.
He also got, like, he was in Bad Boys, the latest Bad Boys movie. Oh my God, he's like huge. Okay. He's like one of the godfathers of reggaeton.
Okay, sorry,
no,
Nicky Jam.
Okay.
Shout out to Nicky Jam.
Yeah.
I want to also ask you, a lot of young cooks, chefs, culinary students listen to this podcast seeking guidance. You started your career, correct? CIA, New York City.
Yep.
Big leagues. So if you could go back in time and you were giving advice to someone that wants to follow your footsteps and work in some of the best kitchens in New York, what are some things that they need to do to prepare to go into those kitchens? And what are some of the unspoken rules that we know but that people don't talk about, and that culinary school doesn't teach you before you go into some of these kitchens that people should know?
That's a great question.
So did you start at Danielle? Is that where you went right out of school?
Right out of school, I started at Barbalud.
Okay.
Actually, Barbalud was my internship, and then I went to Michelin.
Who's the chef at Barbalud when you were there?
His name is Damien Sansonetti.
Travis Sweekard was there, no?
Yeah, he was at Balud Sud.
That's right.
My boy. Shout out Chef Travis. Yeah. Okay, so I would say, this is actually great. So I'm like I was a Miami girl, like when I got to New York, right? Like I'm born and raised in Miami. I've just been in New York now for 14 years.
Sure.
And I align better with like the New York kind of way of being. But I was very like pink headband and like bracelets and fucking pink Sharpie and look cute and my whatever matches, and like nobody gives a fuck. Like what you look like, like what matches, how much money you have, nobody cares. You need to be talented. Like I would say earn respect, like look to be respected by your peers first and foremost. And the way that you earn that respect is by being talented and like good at what you do. And I would tell you that like when we used to get like performance reviews, and in the beginning of my career, like my chefs rated me C, like very 70%, like your average. And that was like detrimental to my like everything. I was like, what do you mean, bro? I try so hard. What they would tell me though is like, you're not so talented, but you'll outwork everybody in the room. Like you work very hard. And so now I would say I'm pretty talented, and a lot of my chefs would agree with that now. But my point in saying that is, if you're not talented right away, that can come. If you're not naturally like gifted in this sport,
being around them, you get better.
You will get better. As you learn, you'll get more creative. That's normal. But your work ethic needs to be there. And as long as you have that work ethic, you will gain the respect of your peers. Shut up. Try not to fight back. I was very combative. I didn't like people telling me what to do. And like, I was like the dick in the kitchen. Like nobody liked me for like my internship. Everyone was like, shut up, little girl. Like, don't answer me back. Like, you're an intern. Shut up, And my chefs, like the ECs, the CDCs, always loved me because I worked so hard, and I was very respectful towards them. But like the ones on the station that would try to like correct
your chef de partie or whatever.
Yeah, I would be like, go fuck yourself. Why are you talking to me like that? Like, who do you think you are? Like, and I was very like, I'll fight you, kind of like stupid. Like, don't be like that. It's okay. Like, you got to understand, like, you're walking into an environment where whoever's treating you, how they're treating you, also walked into that behavior, and that's just the culture. So your best bet is to be quiet. Like, be quiet, learn, get really good, and then tell them shut the fuck up. Wait till it's your turn to be, and like, you actually shut everybody up with your like ability to be a boss.
Right, and that's what people don't understand. It's like the social currency in kitchens is your ability to cook.
Correct.
That's social currency. It doesn't matter, like you said, it doesn't matter what car you drive, what you look like, how much money. can you cook? That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So I would say, like, just putting your head down, being really focused on getting good, learn the good habits of the cooks around you, and learn their bad ones so you don't repeat them. Being super clean and organized is.
Did you ever make a mistake back then, like that you still remember to this day and it haunts you?
Okay. Oh, that's a good question. Did I? Well, of course I made mistakes.
Yeah, but the one that
I was
you.
really fucking clumsy when, I used to trip and fall a lot, a lot. Like, I have a lot of injuries from the kitchen. I used to trip and fall a lot, but I used to drop things a lot. Oh, here's one that reminds me. It doesn't haunt me, but I remember it because the chefs were so like, this girl is dumb. Like, I was passing stock, and to be really honest with
like
you,
through a chinois or something.
Yeah, through a chinois, and I didn't like the sous chef who asked me to do it. So like. I'm such a dick. I knew that I should have kept pressing, and I was like, that's enough. And I threw it away, and he needed more of it for service, and he lost it. He all but sent me home that day, and he was like, you are not allowed to touch sauce in this kitchen ever again. Like, it was bad. It was funny. But yeah, that also came from fuck you, I don't care that much. And but.
How'd you not get fired?
How did I not get fired? Yeah, that's it. I was an intern, so they were paying me $7.25 an hour. How much do you really you know what I mean?
Right. What do you do now for hobbies? How do you unwind?
Oof. So my favorite hobby is Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Outside of the kitchen.
I mean, it used to be mine. I'm not Muay Thai. I'm not Muay Thai ready anymore.
Yeah. To be honest with you, in this past year, I went crazy working, so I haven't been in the gym. But man, I was probably a whole 60 pounds.
Do you train at a fighter gym in New York?
Yeah, in New York. Yeah, it is a fighter gym. But I was between Miami and New York for a couple of years, and I used to train with guys in the UFC and
yeah.
it was legit.
Where in Miami?
In Miami.
Yeah.
So Greg Chaplin is the name of the trainer, and he currently trains guys in the UFC. He's one of the best. He's a ballerina, and I know that maybe that doesn't sound like a compliment to a Muay Thai fighter, but he is an artist. He is just. If there were Michelin stars for Muay Thai, he has 3 of them. 100%. He's incredible. He was amazing. So I did train with him, and then here in New York City, there's
You're gonna fight?
Say again?
Are you training to fight or just?
Yeah, I would.
Do you want to fight?
No. I wish. So I would train to fight because I wanted to be that good, but never with the intention of. No.
I want to know that I could do it, but I don't want to do it.
Correct. And we used to do classes, and there was a girl who was like, I'm just here to have fun, and I was like, then train with her, someone else who's actually serious.
So you're sparring hard and all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I'm like that. I'm very but in everything that I do, my dad was very hard on us as kids. I used to think a C was a failing grade until the 5th grade, where I was like, oh, that's not failing. Because my dad was like, my kids don't bring home C's. My kids are not average.
Yeah.
So he instilled being the best, and so now in everything that I I'm an overachiever.
Yeah. So how long have you been training Muay Thai?
2016.
Wow. So you've been almost 10 years.
Oh, whoa. Wow. Yeah, I think 2016, 2017. Yeah, wow. That's true. But to be fair, it's very on and off. I'll go 3 years straight, and that last year I barely trained at all. To be fair.
Do you like watching it as well?
I like watching the UFC a little more. Well, actually, I love Muay Thai. But I don't watch the one championship. I'll watch the UFC.
Yeah. Do you train MMA too, or just Muay Thai?
Just Muay Thai. I'm not so huge into grappling, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like it, but I like to hit. I like striking.
Yeah,
I love striking.
Yeah, I do too. Except for when you get black eyes and concussions. Other than that,
I used to love. Actually, this is so sick and weird. I used to love getting bruised up and be like, "Oh yeah, I did that in class." But now I'm like, "Okay, that's stupid." But yeah, I used to love the bruises and stuff. "Oh yeah, I train harder."
Yeah. When I used to train Muay Thai, actually, a guy right now that I used to because keep in mind, I started training MMA in 1995, so it's a long time ago, and fighting is like cooking.
Yeah.
If you look at the fighters in 1995 and 97, they look like the chef's food back then. Fighting's evolved so much.
Yep.
And I trained for 10 years Muay Thai MMA, and I took a break for 5 or 6 years, and then I got back into it again later, and I was training at a fight gym with pro fighters, and they were so much more evolved. And I was like, holy shit, you guys are doing shit that's these are all new moves. I don't know any of this shit. You know what I mean? But fighting's kind of like that. But with Muay Thai, it was honestly It's something that I truly, truly love. It's funny, a lot of chefs also fight. Like I've come across a lot of chefs that actually like, oh, I do MMA or I do Muay Thai or whatever. Like it's a good stress relief for a lot of chefs. This was the point that I was going to make. Is keep in mind when I was training Muay Thai, like 2004 ish, right? There was a kid in the gym who was 14, and he was fucking everyone up. He was 14. I remember I had already been doing it for years. And like sometimes when I have to spar with him, I was like, this 14-year-old kid would smoke us.
Right.
And he was so good. He was so much better than everybody. And he's fighting in the UFC now. Like his name is Chidi Njokwani. He just fought like last weekend, I think.
Oh, wow.
It's like, wow, he like back then we knew it. Back then we knew how good he was, but it's crazy to see.
Here in Texas?
Here in Texas, yeah. So that gym that I was training at, the gym was called Genjira Muay Thai. It's in Dallas, but the trainer Sexon, he's from Thailand. He used to bring in a lot of heavy hitters back in the day, like Boss Rutan used to train there, Dwayne Ludwig. A lot of he used to bring in guys from Thailand, Samat, and like all the guys from Thailand would come to train there. So I had access.
That's pretty cool.
I had access to like a lot of Thai champions, and I was like, you know how it is in gyms. Like the coach is like the exec chef, but then there's like the sous chefs are like the pro fighters, and like the chef de parties are like the amateurs. And it's the same culture a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was always on the upper end. Like I did amateur, but I never turned pro. But I was like the coach of the gym, Sexon, when I was there, he used to look at me as like responsible. So like when he would go out of town, he would say, "You're in charge." Not because I was the best, but because he knew I was like good and responsible. Like I wasn't gonna like fucking burn the place down.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of my I love fighting.
I think it's synonymous with the kitchen in the way that it's like, it requires discipline to start.
Yeah.
The more serious you take it, the more you practice, the better you get.
Yes.
It's a lot of hard work and it's taxing. It's not really, I enjoyed it. That was amazing, but it becomes taxing on your body, like after a certain amount of time.
Yes.
Right? So those are the things that I find like synonymous with cooking. And I think like for me too, like the adrenaline during service, like I think, this was something that like they loved about me when they were casting, that I was like, bro, I've jumped out of an airplane.
Have you?
I have. I went skydiving like in 2017 or something. I would never do that again.
Yeah.
But I was like, I get more of an adrenaline rush cooking 500 covers on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Like all day. And
there's something about a perfect service.
Oof. And I prefer that adrenaline all day. I take that all day. And so that like, I feel like us as cooks are in general, the character generally is slightly more aggressive than the average person. We have that in us.
Yeah.
And it's like we're a little bit masochistic, all of us, a little bit, because to like stand for 12 hours to put, it's like constant pressure. Think about that. Like you have X amount of mise en place to do in X amount of time. And then, you're getting ready for service. Like it's not easy to like, you're in constant push for 12 hours.
Yes.
So like, I think like that's where like, and like fighting is like cortisol, adrenaline. It's
Yeah,
like all
it's
the
great.
same. So I'm not surprised. So surprised now that there's a lot of chefs who like it. I think the surprise comes more from like, bro, you have the time? Because when I was cooking, I was too tired.
Yeah.
Like, and like, that's all I ever did was cook. Right. So
Yes.
yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore. I can't kick anymore. Like if I throw a kick, I literally think my hip would pop out. And I'm not kidding. Like
I feel like you sell yourself too short.
No, I'm not kidding. Like sometimes I'm like if I'm like just messing around, I'll throw a kick. It's like no, I could do a straight kick like a teep, but I can't do that. Like I can't open my hip up. Like
my favorite,
I'm not kidding. I do feel like sometimes I'm walking. I'm like I think my hip is gonna fall out. Anyway, knock on wood. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Inshallah, never.
The combination of Muay Thai, kickboxing, working in a kitchen, MMA, like I have a bad back, bad knees, bad hip. Yeah.
That actually. So here's a fun fact. I was crossing the street one day, and a little boy on his 18-year-old on his phone hit me, in his car hit me. Oof. And so it wasn't thank God he wasn't going that fast, but I fell, it was like a whole thing, and like injured my back so bad, like my spine was messed up, and I lost a bunch of weight, and Muay Thai is actually what corrected all my spine, my body, like
that's great.
completely fixed most of the problem. So
That's good for you because it messed up mine. It messed up my back and everything else.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, look, there's still, you know, like things like when I cook for too long, like 12 hours. We just did a pop up this past weekend. Me and like some of my castmates and some former like people from Next Level Chef 1, 2, 3, like the other seasons. And like I just had dinner with another business partner of mine the other day, and I was like, bro, this is a sport for a young person. This is like the NFL, bro.
Yeah,
At this age, you retire.
Yeah.
You're executive chef.
You hit pads.
That's it. No more.
Yeah,
no more.
pads.
And it, like, yeah, it's tough. Like now, like cooking, I'm like, oh, I feel my back. I feel my hips. Like I need to like relax for the next. It's not like that's a young man's sport. Yeah. Cooking is a young man's sport.
All right, chef. We're gonna wrap up with our final 2 questions that I always ask everyone. If you had a Mount Rushmore of 4 chefs that you think deserve to be on Mount Rushmore, who would they be?
Oof. I like got this ready and I don't remember. Here we go. So definitely Thomas Keller.
Yep.
He's like, you know.
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Danielle has to go up on there too. You know, he's the pioneer farm to table. We got to give him Adam Perry Lang. I'm sorry.
Yes.
He is like a hidden gem, and like people know about him now. Like he's getting more, you know, recognition. But he is like to me the GOAT. He's
right
over everyone for me. That's
right.
number 3, right? And then this one, I don't know that you guys are gonna like this answer, but I believe that more people will say this in 10 years from now. Josh Weissman.
Yeah, no, I like Josh.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because he is what Emeril Lagasse was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But like better. Sorry, Emeril, I love you. You're like one of my idols. Don't get mad that I said, but better. In that, like, he's so fucking serious. He's so good at what he does.
Yeah.
And he's so smart in that he entered the industry and he does everything he does with a lot of intention. Mm-hmm. So for me, I put him up on that Mount Rushmore, not because he's reached his pinnacle or he is I'm put like Thomas Keller and the Danielle of the world.
Oh, he's legit.
I promise you in 10 years from now, there will be someone else he will be the guy that people talk about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And you know, I've obviously we did a show together, but I've talked to him off camera.
Right.
He's laser sharp focused on what he
brilliant.
does. He is in it.
I love him. Someone tell him that I want to bake for him, please.
Last question. If you had a chef's PSA out there, what would it be? Yes,
I would say don't give up, because it gets hard. It gets very hard, but you always have one more round of fight left in you. You always do, even if you feel like you don't. And if you go for that one more round, you'll get what you were going for. It's always right after the hardest point in your life. If you just push past that, you'll get what you wanted. Yeah. That's it.
This was fun. We got to do it again.
Absolutely.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram.
On Next Level Chef now. Yeah, you can watch Next Level Chef.
Next Level Chef. And you can find me at Iman Kawa on Instagram or Better Than Your Mother's.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to support Chef's PSA, here are some things that you can do. You can go to chefspsa.com, where you get all the books that I've published, including some free ebooks. You could go to the shop.chefspsa.com, and get yourself some hoodies, some hats, some t-shirts, and support the show. If you want early access to episodes, you could become a premium subscriber on Spotify and Substack and get the episode before anyone else. Get Chef Phrase. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or anywhere else, make sure you leave 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. It's a 5-star podcast. We'll see you next week at the Porno Meeting.
No André in the kitchen, mixing, dropping chef knowledge, no fiction, stirring up the beats, heating up the session. Listen close, class is in session.